Hello, everyone. Beautiful people out there. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. We are on the couch with Umkulundaba Zulu, translated as Heaven's Mountain. You may ask, oh, on such an amazing day, what has inspired me to embark upon this journey? I want to talk to individuals that, when I say intuition, when I say there are people that are gifted in this world with one of the most powerful gifts, and it's the same resonance, the same type of gifts that you see in everyone else, but you define it differently. You ask yourself, how come, some people can be successful and some people cannot? How come they can be rich or poor? How come, everything I do is never good enough? How come there's always a voice in my heart that when I follow it, things end up going well, and when I don't follow it, things, end up not going okay. Sometimes I consult. Maybe I've been through traditional healing. I've found, temples. I've joined some type of religion. I've joined some type of a culture, changed culture type. I've done quite a lot of things. I've fasted, I've prayed, but my life is not going the way that resonates with my heart. There are instances where I can correspond having followed my heart, and even though I made a decision that maybe other people may not have agreed with me, but to me it felt good. And then on the other times when I've made decisions that were against how I feel, I always ended up regretting it. There's always a certain voice that's always guiding me, but I can't explain it, and that's the thing. I'm here to talk to people that have that, and it's such an amazing gift. It's called an intuition. It's called, and this is where the journey begins: spiritual healing through intuition. What am I talking about? I'm talking about being the type of person that is able to look at you, and there's a spiritual realm that I can connect to, and I'm able to give you then some messages that tell you how the other side is feeling about your current status. And also, I'm also very gifted in terms of leadership and in terms of awareness in a deep conscious level, whereby there's a certain alignment and knowing that I am able to share, which is wisdom. Some people say we have different types of spirits. We have angels, namatongo. We have different types of spiritual figures in terms of how we personify, how we see them. And you know what, the spiritual realm is one that is unraveling. We're only tipping the iceberg. There are individuals like us who are able to tell you the root cause of what your challenge is. But more importantly, I'm here because I want to speak to the people, and I want to awaken your intuition. We seem to have a notion, based on all the things that we learned when we were younger and the type of knowledge that we were exposing ourselves to. Remember, as a human being, you can only do the best that you can with the knowledge that you have. What does that mean? It means you can't fault yourself for not knowing what you didn't know until you went through it. So why am I here? I'm here to say one of the amazing gifts is actually that intuition, that knowing. And there are a lot of people that are like that. We call them spiritual guides, we call them light workers, we call them intuitive psychics. We call them traditional healers. In different cultures, they're personified in different ways, but there are those individuals that are able to tap into a spiritual gifts that enables them to be able to connect to the spiritual realm, but also to be able to share wisdom with you. And this wisdom comes from one of my spiritual guides, amadlozi, amathongo, ancestors, and they come in different as entities, they come as different entities, but they were very adamant, starting from today, that they would like me to share the knowledge, and they wanted me to start with asking the question of why have all this time you felt that you're not good enough. Why have you found yourself in a position where you can't trust your own decisions? You have everything that you've ever wanted, and maybe there are things that you still wish to have, but they don't satisfy you. There's a certain longing. Maybe you went into a career because you were advised like that, or the parents said so, or the upbringing, that's the lineage, and then you ended up in a career you didn't like, or maybe you like it but you want to explore a different branch to it, but you always seem to not be able to have the courage to pursue things that really make you happy. I can go as far as looking at the amazing and respectful or respected figures in our society, from different backgrounds, from different sectors, from different artistry, from different four dimensions, a multi-dimensional actually environment. By that I mean you have artists, you have athletes, you have scientists, you have people that are very good with their hands. You have such a variety of very amazing talent. Other people see energies. Other people are very gifted with herbs. And other people are very gifted with technology. Some other people, there are so many. There's a vast spectrum of gifts that are there. Both from a spiritual side to the physical, what you can do. To what your mind can create. And all we're asking you is, why are you feeling like you can't pursue your dreams? You're sitting there, you're saying, I have everything I need, but I still feel empty. Everything that they said I must be, I am, but I still feel that I'm not good enough. I still need to do more. Well, no one actually prescribed the definition of good enough. Someone else's definition of good enough is being able to achieve matric because that's all they could afford in their home. And then, they had to learn to be independent and try to find a job, and maybe learning to, now apply themselves into, an industry that has a lot of great opportunities, and they're trying to find their way. Listen to your instincts. The little effort that you make when you listen to your instincts gives you even bigger ideas in terms of how you go about. You start coincidentally meeting people that guide you along the way, that become important figures in your life. And I can continue and continue. Why have you felt that you are not good enough? And that's another point. The majority of our upbringing, most of the time, we inherited belief systems that were aligned with those times in that era, with all the respect. But nowadays, you don't have to be, what they said you must be. You can always be something else. And who you are amazing. You're amazing. You are remarkable, as a matter of fact. You are a blessing in the universe. You have no idea. But it takes a lot of courage for you to start pursuing the things that you wish for. I'm talking about people that are not following their intuition. I'm talking about people that are not following their goals. They might feel that they are stuck, but you know what? A way always opens when you start making an effort. And you know what? Where you are is probably the best place you can be for where your soul purpose, was aligned to be. You have a purpose, If you've done everything you could, or you feel, you're stuck in the world, don't give up on yourself, and don't feel bad for the things that you can achieve. I'm here to say to you, you are doing such an amazing job as a human being. Oh my God, it's not easy being a human being. Oh my goodness, from I have to wake myself up, so I need to, make sure I put food, and then that multiplies, then if you have kids, then there's that. If you're married, then there's that. If you're working, then there's that. If you're studying, then there's that. If you, oh my goodness, but you do such an amazing job, and it's about time that you stop waiting for someone to tell you every time you do an amazing job. You are good enough. For as long as when you go out there, you follow your heart, you do what you can that serves the world. Within your gifts, there are people that are just waiting for you to tap into it. And you look back and you say, how did I meet such amazing people in my career? No one, the notion that we need to just blink or manifest things or write them down so that they just materialize is half true, but the deeper meaning to that is that you need to find your purpose. Everyone that is successful in their lives in their own unique way is because they follow their purpose. Find what resonates with you the most. One of the things, there are so many things. I can't even go into it because there are so many of them. But you need to find something where when you wake up in the morning, it feels good to go participate in that, whatever it is. We even have motivational speakers, we have athletes, we have, oh my goodness, we have entrepreneurs, we have astronauts, we have teachers, we have lawyers, we have such a variety, lecturers, we have, oh my goodness, we have poets, we have singers, I can go, we have electricians, we have, IT, we have doctors, we have coaches, we have, traditional healers in different spectrums. Some are really good with bone healing, some are really good, with praying, some are really good with going out to nature, some are really good with, mixing certain portions of medicines, for healing. Some are really good with just being able to, when you're walking around, people seem to have a very peaceful presence around you. When you talk to people, they seem to get better. When you just be yourself in front of people, tell them to hang in there, tell them they're doing a great job, and let them know that we are together in this, because everyone wakes up with an objective. Just make sure that when you wake up, your purpose makes you smile and very eager to go to the world and give it your best shot. So wherever you're starting from being I'm in high school, I'm in matric, I'm in college, I'm in university, I'm in boarding school, I just started a job, I want to career develop where I'm already starting. I'm saying you need to follow your heart, and I need you to have the courage and be empowered to feel that everything you do makes a very big difference. You might think you're just a taxi driver, you might think that you're just a cashier, you might think that you're just a team leader, you might think that you're just a cleaner, you might think that you're just a mother that's selling tomatoes on the streets, you might think you're just a breadwinner at home, you might think that you're just a big brother taking care of their young kids, and the father is not there, you're playing the father figure. You might be the older sister and you're playing the mother figure, and the mother's not there, and the father is trying to also balance life, and you feel that it's too much. You might be a nurse that is doing multiple hours and no one is grateful for your service. You might be a doctor that tried to save a patient, but their time had come. You might have been a lawyer that won a case or lost a case. That was the divine timing, but there is a very big difference that you made today in somebody's lives, where you added value, where you gave words of wisdom, where you gave hope, where you tried your best. When you got back home, you said, you know what, I'm very glad for what I did, for whoever I did it for. I'm very glad that today I managed to achieve one goal. I'm very glad that I managed to spoil myself. And for you to sit back and align back with your intuition, that makes you feel that you've done a good job for today, and not wait for anyone to tell you that you are amazing, because you are. Find your purpose wherever you are planted. You don't know as you are who you are inspiring to follow your steps, to have the courage that that you have. So I'm one of the spiritually gifted people that, spiritual healing through intuition. My ancestor just wants you to know that for today, you are amazing. You are absolutely amazing. And that small voice that tells you that you are amazing, that's your intuition. That is your spirit. I'm saying we all have spirits within us. The mere fact that you were born somewhere in a hospital, yeah, but before there, wow, what happened there, and with all respect, like, there are certain, aspects in life that cannot really be explained. So we can all agree that we are spirits in some form or the other that is transcendent, that's generational, and this time around you are a representation of that. And you know what? You are representing a generation. You are doing an amazing job. Don't be so hard on yourself. Keep going. So today, if I made a big difference in your heart, wherever you felt you were a little bit stuck, all my ancestor wanted me to do and let you know that you are valuable, you are amazing, and you know what? Even if no one told you so, you are representing a generation. And you know what? That spirit right there is the angel that's within you, that's within us. Allow it to guide you. And if today I managed to just make you feel better, and I hope that this is all that you needed, give me some likes, show me love. I want to spread it as much as I can, just so that I can continue to inspire you to know that you're not alone. The same feeling that you got me to record this for the second time and said, you gotta do it right. You're missing one more person. So to all of you, you are amazing. Goodbye for now.